All right, guys, we are live. I'm here with John, and John did my instructor course last month, and he came today, and we were supposed to do some training, but I hurt my shoulder, so we won't be training, and we started talking a little bit about different types of pressure point. Now, John's been doing martial arts for what, close to 30 years, John?
About 37 years.
37 years of training. What have you done? Tell them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I started off with like karate, where I grew up in Belay when I was about 10 years old at Yosekan Karate Do, and I did karate all the way up to CJEB.
Okay.
And also some kickboxing and boxing. I used to go to Jab's gym like from back in the day. My uncle was actually Greek Army boxing champion.
Oh shit, that's
and
cool.
he had started training me a bit when I was younger. Olympic freestyle wrestling, kung fu. And,
You were security too, right?
Yeah. I've been working in security on and off for like about over 25 years. I'm a tactical instructor in security too for.
So that's interesting, tactical instructor, because we did some of these drills and we tried to use them, and they're really hard to put on some of these locks and some of these pressure points.
Right.
And we decided, like as we were talking about it, I said let's pop the camera open and just show people a few pressure points that he's learned. And he was actually doing one that I actually love myself. So John, you could show it, which is, if let's say the guy grabs you here, there's a one pressure point. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, basically it's a brachial pressure point. Now in any situation, now we're just simplifying, guys, we're not going live resistance or anything here, just to give a bit of understanding. Somebody's gonna put a hand on you, you wanna have at least one point of control, right?
Yeah, good point.
Now, instead of fighting for the pressure point, you might try to do like other things or whatever, but from here, when your hands are up, so here you can trap down here, and this can come in.
This one?
Right into, but you're not jabbing into the throat, you see. You curve in, this is the brachial one, now don't worry.
Oh man.
You have to go in and down.
But I actually love, like I actually show that one, guys, when put me in a guillotine.
Yeah.
This way, I've said it, if you could, right? You go into the throat with the thumb. And I'm not putting pressure, but if I was to come up here and push down, I'm going right on the inside. It's a really tough one.
It's not a crank, guys. It's not a straight jab here. You have to really go in, hook underneath here. And if you can do it to me if you like.
Yeah, so if I'm here, like I know how much this, so it's just this, right? So now I'm not,
and down.
Yeah, I could go harder, but I'm obviously like, technically if I was doing it, I would drive my whole body into it and push. And again, from there, as I'm doing this, then bam, I could also come in and throw an elbow, depending. You could also go with the thumb, I'm assuming, just drive it right inside.
I find this is easier because of the grip that you can have, and you have the control. You can go into
come in with other stuff.
But it's basically the point that's inside here, but it's down about here.
So you're pushing in that way.
You're hooking in and down. Now, if you have no hold and you do it to the attacker, if you're not holding, they're just going to back up. If you
you need to have a hold to do this, because if he just does this, I'm gonna strike right away. Let's see if we have any questions. That helps. It works, Nick. Cool. Hurts looking. Yeah, it does actually hurt, guys. You actually feel it, and we're not going full force. We're simulating. So you can imagine if he actually Heritis meta up to Chicago. Okay.
Yeah,
cool, man. So what else, John? What else pressure points?
Yeah, so look, guys, pressure points, don't go hunting for them.
Yeah.
Take them when they're there. Like Nick said many times, don't fall in love with the move and say, I want to go try this and that. You can do doesn't take live, like a lot of strong things to try them, just so you can get a feeler of them. Because I recommend you get a feeling of what it really is so you can know what it is to do. Because otherwise you're just hitting in the throat. Hey, whatever comes, guys.
Yeah. That's very interesting. And when we're doing our the instructor course, I always repeat that. Even when I was doing my defensive tactics instructor course, one of the officers was always going for a certain move, and I was like, don't get emotionally attached to move. Don't force a move when it's not there because you're good at it or you think it's going to end the fight. get what you get as an opportunity in the moment with the range that you have and the opportunity that your attacker gives you, right? So don't force it and try to, like, if my hands are here, trying to go here, might, like from here, yes, but if, I don't know, maybe I'm here, but for me to try to go here, it might be harder. So maybe it's better for me to strike, okay? Yeah. What else you have? You were showing me a Charlie horse.
Yeah, I mean, try to stick to things that are gross motor, guys. You know, I don't want to start showing you all these things that we're going to
we agree that shit doesn't work, right?
Listen, like Nick says, everything works and nothing works.
Yeah.
How can you make something work? Because
you need to strike somebody. I worked in security. The fact that you're going to grab a guy and do this shit with them, if he's resisting and you haven't struck him, chances are...
You do that when the guy's already down on the ground and you already have him out, and then you just want to hold him there until, you know, you handcuff him or the police are coming or whatever the case is, you know?
What else? What would you say is your second favorite pressure point?
Look, a lot of things, it's also, like the strikes also, you have pressure points on the head also. So like a lot incorporated with the open palm strike, we have what's called two-way motion. So it's like basically if around here, around the temple, and there's other pressure points here. So it's like hitting in, but as you hit, you do the twist at the same time.
Boom.
You're hitting through, so it's like slapping out like that.
That's interesting. I know. I have the habit of just striking. So the idea is as it comes, boom.
Yeah.
And you're going what, right to here?
Right on the temple over here.
So you're not doing this stuff, right? Because a lot of people teach. That's very fine motor skill for you to find that.
Listen, I mean, keep it simple, guys.
Yeah.
You know, you keep a base and you put all the sauce you want on it later. But look, you gotta know when to stop.
I like that.
Know when to stop. Don't get emotionally carried away. You know, keep it short and sweet, right? Gross motor and always.
So then if I'm here, I'm going boom, and I'm striking into the top of the head.
Yeah, it's basically a strike that you're hitting, and at the same time you're twisting it once it hits. It's a two-way motion, so the force comes in one way, and you're also directing it another. Another one is like the Charlie horse. If somebody, obviously depends how you stand.
So you use this on security. We'll move back. Let's see.
This is actually one of the things that we teach, like for like takedown and handcuffs and all that. But
that's something, guys. I've trained security. The handcuff thing, I've always I haven't explored it enough. Maybe it's something that we could
do another time. Sure, not a problem. I mean, but that's basically after you've neutralized someone.
Yeah. And that's the hard part. The hard part is neutralizing him, put him on the ground, knocking him out, creating. What about twist of palm when you strike the... So we have a question. What about the twist of palm when you strike the chin or the jaw? So the same concept would be...
Listen, anything, if you're striking it, you want to get that motion.
Whiplash, that snapping.
So the whole thing about two-way motion is that you hit into it and you're also creating another direction with it, right? Everything...
The Charlie horse, we're looking at that, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, it all basically, how you're going to get into a certain situation. Like I said, don't hunt for it. Like here, the way that I was taught by the master instructor, which is, you know, most of it is to follow what they call, like in French, the mesure nationale de l'emploi de la force, the employment of force, and not to get sued, teaching people this and that. But, you know, we still want to give you guys something realistic, and not give you like false hopes and understanding, you know. So you got to put everything together and see like what it is that works. Now, it could be from here, or if you're, even if somebody, like if they have the extended leg, that the leg is like they have weight on it, you know, very simple. You could even come from here. Like I was taught this way, but me, I like the approach of the closest, you know, the philosophy that we have with Nick. So it's basically this, boom.
Just drive it in.
You drive it in at a 45-degree angle. Like in Muay Thai, you point your toes down so you get the most of that in, and it's 3/4 of a second time on target. Now from here too, you could always, you know, go down with this.
That's a nice follow through, striking the nerves right to the leg.
And trust me guys, I did it with a guy like over 300 pounds and he couldn't walk for 2 weeks. I'm not making this up.
Bro, the knee is the hardest hit ever, and you could palm under the jawline. I've done with power. Can you pressure points in UFC? Can you pressure points in UFC?
You know what? That's a good question. I've asked myself that.
I don't think so. I've seen them mostly strike, right? I rarely have seen them. I think you know, definitely, like, nothing stops you. Like, my probably, guys, if I was going to tell you my favorite pressure point that I've used in the street is this right here. Boom, this way. So every time, let's say I go for a choke, put your head down, and he does this, I would just go whack and bring him down this way. And what I like about that one, whether I go across the jaw, across the face, across the nose, I'm turning the head and I'm cranking the neck, right? So it doesn't require that much force. It also allows me to establish a good chest to back. Because sometimes putting on the choke, the guy's going to be bringing his hand. So if I'm trying to, don't let me put on the choke. So if I'm doing this and he's covering me, then maybe boom, I'll try to come around here and try to find a way to be able to use the other hand and be able to put on the choke, right? Where I'll try to bring the hand, slide it up, slide it. Now, in this case, I would throw a low line knee, or I would strike so he could think low, and then I would try to bring it up high. So it's a mix of everything. Nothing, you know, I always tell people, nothing is always going to work at 100%. There's always a window of that there's a lot of different factors that come into play. What do we have? One time I survived to fight a huge guy by kicking him very hard in the middle of the shin, and I ran. Well, yeah, for sure, the shins. I mean, there's so many factors. I mean, if the guy, you don't know each person's pain tolerance. For sure, if you're wearing steel toe boots, these aren't steel toe?
No.
They're not steel toe boots, but if you're wearing steel toe boots, or even with those, if you go whack hard right to the shin with a jar kick, I mean, I doubt you're going to end the fight, but you never know. The person might step back. You might demotivate him to continue his attack, or you might set up a low line and then hit him high. What kind of hammer fists are okay in the street? Do you recommend a hammer fist versus a punch if fighting on the ground? I like the hammer fist on the ground.
Listen, on the ground, you don't want to stay on the ground long.
Yeah.
My philosophy of that is a bit like for my Kajukenbo training. Distract, you know, trap, take him down, strike, trap, and then whether it's a stomp or a knee or whatever, and get the hell out.
Yeah.
You don't want to sit there on top, someone's coming by, doesn't know, they think you're the one who's attacking, you know? And just to add one thing, Nick, on the thing that you did, I just want to show, if you want to do that again to me, that, you see where Nick's showing here, it's very good. Now, this, if you turn at the same time, like rotate, when you get that sweet spot, rotate. When you rotate, you see, you get a lot of the pressure points, they're by,
good point.
It's basically hitting into the target. A lot of it is by rubs, you know, like basically getting into that little nerve, you know. So when you're there, the same thing goes like when you have anything like this also, it's the turn.
Yeah,
the turn.
it's
the same thing here when you have like the wrist. You know, you want to create that little space, you know, that little space so that you can, and use 2 points of control. So here, you're basically separating also the wrist, and there's pressure points in that, and then you can take the guy down. Use your weight or whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting, because I see, like, we used to do pressure points, like stuff into the ribs. I used to do shit where I used to take my chin and rub it on the guy's face. I've used my head on the ground to like use my head as the person to pressure point, because the hard thing about the pressure point, you need, like you said, you need to have a control. You either need him to be pinned on the wall or on the ground, where you can use your weight to be able to drive in those pressure points and be able to squeeze like any position that you want. Wow, that was valuable trick with the twist, guys. Thank you, Nick. I love you, man. Thank you. That was my standing hammer fist. Like the UFC coaches said, 1-2 always wins the fight. Would you pull the ear as a pressure point while clinching? I mean, if you can get it, but I mean, I think in full speed, I'm talking from my experience working in clubs and being in real, they're hard to find. That doesn't mean it's impossible. Maybe if we're in close and I struck him, and maybe I have him pinned against the wall and it's right there. Anything's possible.
Thing, guys, here, the same thing.
Yeah, here
right here.
Right,
and right behind the jaw, right here. This one here. And if you go into it,
Yeah.
Don't go hunting for them, guys.
That's so. If
Seriously.
there's sorry. If there's one thing like he said right now, is don't go hunting for them. I think that if you're watching this video right now and we're giving you guys different like we're breaking them down. The one thing you want to remember is don't go hunting. Don't look and say, okay, I'm gonna try to go and get in and try to go behind the ear. These are like, I mean, if you get them, great, but don't fixate on them. Never fixate on everything and never pre-plan the fight prior or don't ever pre-plan in your head what you're gonna do, because that will short circuit you for a second if anything turns around and it doesn't happen that way.
Mm-hmm. Exactly, and
you want to add anything or bite as Mike Tyson? Yeah, I mean, biting is tell some arm bars techniques.
like all these things are not finishing moves, guys.
Yeah.
They're distractions. You want to finish and get out. What is your objective? You want to survive and get out of there. You know? This is what it's basically about. Whether you can get out or if you have to stay and fight. But these pressure point tactics, they're not finishing moves. They're just distractions. You know, you could use, I mean, I'd rather use strikes, guys.
Yeah.
And even on some pressure points, it's striking. Like on certain parts of like the arm.
Here, boom.
You know, with like a hammer fist and just like 3/4 of a second. I don't want to do because Nick's injured too.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you do it a little bit.
Yeah,
Let me feel
one day, guys, you want, you could try it on me.
Go. So if you go like...
Is this the injured one? I'll take the other side then.
Yeah, that's this one. Yes.
All right. So just to give you like an example, and I'm not gonna go really hard, Nick, just to give you.
Yeah. You feel it.
Yeah.
Nick, if you use a microphone, but that would help. Yeah, for sure, guys. You can also control the head to move. You can also control the heads to move body and get some angles. What are some of the effective armbar techniques? Well, we're gonna look at that. You know, probably make another video, and just basically look at everything on the ground, because we don't have any mats. And Black Jaguar, what's going on? So that's it, guys. Again, these are just, you know, tools. Like I've also seen like across the nose this way, crushing the nose. You know, pulling it here, pulling it there. I like when I'm doing pressure points, I like to go for the head and up.
Yeah.
I like to crank the neck, move the neck, crush the throat, crank the neck, even when I'm using kind of tactical weapons.
Yeah, I mean, that's good. You can use just to give a distraction and then go for your rear
Yeah,
choke. This is what I would say use.
You see, guys, every pressure point to me is a second of opportunity to land my strike. Because there's only pressure points, it takes, again, more, there's more precision into it. It takes you having a certain amount of control, you applying pressure on it. Whereas in a fight, you want to get out. So what does that mean? You want to strike as quickly as possible. So if I pressure, boom, I pressure, strike, pressure, strike. Is the windpipe a pressure point? So, wait,
No,
let's go.
I mean, it's not a pressure point. It hurts though. Like I said, the pressure point, the brachial nerve that's here, basically inside, like that, it's like a fish hook. And the way I recommend is using the middle finger because you get more deep and it's actually a hook. But you have to hold on at the same time, guys. I mean, these are just things to give you ideas. I'm not telling you go and try them. You got to experience it yourself to know really how to get it, because you might just piss off the guy more. Yeah. If you don't have a good hold, the guy's just going to get back.
Yeah.
So, look, don't keep it simple. More bang for your buck, like Nick always says, man.
More bang. That's my thing, guys. More bang.
If it comes, take it, guys. I'm just showing you something to give you another exploration of it. That, but there's no guarantees, right? So you got to use everything you can, especially when the shit is the fan.
The adrenaline comes in.
Yeah.
My last experience, I do not felt like the fight. I'm fasting. Feel lousy and run away. I mean, street. You do not choose moments. Got into a few problem, Nick. Okay. What if we look at the entire nerve that is lying underneath? Does that open up a bit more of a target? What if we look at the entire nerve that's lying underneath? Does that open up a bit more of a target? I don't understand the question.
Well, look, you have some nerves, like, you know, the nerve here on your leg, right? So I mean, it's not just one point. It's basically where the nerve, or like you see where the muscles and the tissues and the bone, where it's usually connections. There's clusters of nerves in those areas, right?
Yeah, that's
so it's basically anatomy, guys, if you really want to know. Where there's no meat covering, you know, it's
like right over here. If it hits right in between here, that I would feel it, right?
That's right. So
any certain spots we kind of know that would probably be more effective, right? But again, this is one of the reasons why I like going for the head. If you're wearing a jacket, if you're wearing something thick, it's not always as obvious to be able to hit it.
And one of the older, obviously the solar plexus, which is one of the
solar plexus, yeah. 2 pokes to the eyes will poke them right out. Yeah, for sure, guys. Finger jabbing into the eyes or sticking your but even going into the eyes like this, right? So if I'm doing this, his instinct is going to be to move back or to move his hands. So when you're eye gouging with the thumbs, unless my hands were big enough to go around his head, I would either need him to be pinned on the wall or pinned on the floor, or if I have him trapped with one hand. So every time you're applying a pressure point, you need to be trapping with one, right? Or you need to have him at some point anchored somewhere. Yeah. Nick, do ribs work, like crushing ribs, in your opinion, from standing? From standing is hard to do this, right? I mean, if I'm on the ground, I've done it when I was doing jiu-jitsu and we were doing a little bit, you know, street, our own style. I would put my elbow in here, I would do this and just go into the ribs. But standing, if he goes into a pressure point here, I'm just gonna like, you know, it's hard. Now, if he has me on a wall and he digs it in and suddenly he goes in here, but again, it's a lot of waste of time if you're doing it for me to do this, but you're creating it so you could come in with an elbow. Yeah. So if you're doing it because that's all you have and you want to set something up, then that's it. Then it's good. But if you think it's going to be a fight finisher or a way to, you know, make the guy give up or quit the attack, I mean, that's not what I would be using it for. It's a split second of opportunity.
Yeah. Also, like neck strikes, you know, use with the forearm as you're coming in, like a blade hand. You know, anything that can give them a jolt, can knock out guys.
I've done this one too, where I'm here and I do this.
Oh yeah.
Where I use my head and I just push. But why? Because I'm holding the neck here and I'm doing this, right? I can hit, but from here, I'm using it just to like kind of drive in. Just trying to drive in and create a little pressure. But again, he's not going to stand there. He's going to be fighting. He's going to try to hit. But this is when you throw a knee, you throw an elbow, you drive your head, right? Again, the pressure points on the wall, like go on the wall, Yanni. So if I'm here, this is where, if I'm here, I could start doing stuff like that. Where if I'm here, I could push here. If I'm here, and I could push his head. And we kind of see it in the UFC, right? They use their head, they use their body to try to put the person in certain positions to be able to strike.
Yeah. But I mean, if you got the guy pinned like that, I would just use
boom, strike.
Simple, no need to play around, guys. You know, it's not, don't get fancy.
Yeah, that's the important thing. Chop to the neck, yeah, for sure. If I'm here and I'm tired, whack right into the nerves, man. You know, that definitely would freaking, I mean, again, I don't want to say it would finish the fight. I don't like to say anything finishes the fight because you don't know people's pain tolerance. And I try not to tell people to fixate on something specific, because if I tell you, well, if you hit him here, you're going to finish the fight. But what happens if I hit him there and I don't finish the fight? You're going to fucking be like, oh shit, I was supposed to finish this. So you might like short circuit for a second. So if I do this, boom, and he just flinches, then I don't have time to be like, oh shit. Whenever you decide to throw that first strike, you got to continue with as many strikes as possible right after that.
Yeah. And this, I mean, it follows the line of the arm. To get a knockout on a pressure point, you got to hit it along different parts of the meridian, generally, unless you're going to cause that shake, right? So basically, it's a short circuit on the nervous system. That's really what it comes down to, you know. But I mean, from there, it's also the angles that you're gonna attack. If you're there, you attack here, let's say, right, and then you go
boom. Just that one.
And from here, come on, guys. You know, there's other moves that are more straightforward.
This one, whack into the throat, into the neck. That way is powerful.
45 degrees angles because you want to stretch that nerve, guys. It's not a straight 90 degrees. It's 45 going this way.
Yeah. And I mean, when you use the blade of the farm, what I like is to like it's like a whip. Whether I hit here, here, if he flinches, boom! I'm putting my power into it.
This is the saber. You know, this you weaponize the whole arm, right?
No, I saw a test video on YouTube that the neck chop does not matter indeed. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
My son said don't always aim for the nuts.
Like I said, for the neck, it's you have to have followed up along the same line. It's not easy to get on a one shot on the neck.
The best neck crank for self-defense. Again, guys, my favorite neck crank for self-defense is what I did right over here. So if I'm here, I'm either gonna go across the jaw, across the face. I'm gonna cup it here and I'm gonna squeeze and push him back.
And do the twist.
And just, boom, just freaking.
That last one just gets you.
I think elbows and knees in the clinch are deadly. Yeah, for sure. I've often seen instructors tell to hit the nose with a palm strike from elbow. Did you use it? Look, obviously, time when the guy goes out, 3 seconds, then let go out there. I got punch on the neck before and it stunned me for 2 seconds. Who punched me ran away. I watched the guy dropped after being hit in the throat by a small lady. Yeah, for sure. If you get a nice solid strike right into the throat, for sure, it's definitely going to slow the person down. Our BJJ sweeps, if I ended up on the bottom, BJJ sweeps, if I ended up, maybe some people hit and run. So guys, I think it's pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, any questions, leave them in the comment box. If you have any more questions for John, and he's got 30 years of experience in training. If you have anything specific, put it in the comment box. And every week now, every Saturday, I'm going to be posting a brand new video. I just posted the one on defense against a ride, guys. Go check it out. I did beer bottle. I'm filming a lot of new videos, as well as go visit my website, nickdrossos.com. I have brand new and exclusive videos that I'm putting up there because I can't put them up on YouTube because they keep getting flagged. And that's it, guys. John, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
We'll be back. Stay safe, guys. Dinami.
Dinami. Strength.
Strength and honor.